Hi and welcome to the first video within this series, which is basically debunking the health bullshit out there. Okay, so I will call this series Health Bullshit Debunked. How about that? So we're going to go really into deep with stuff, but today we're going to stick to a specific topic, okay, which is one that I'm extremely passionate about and speak a lot to my clients or even people that just genuinely reach out to me for my advice. Now, it's caffeine that we're talking about here, okay? And basically the hidden dangers, and I mean by hidden dangers, I mean bloody dangers are hidden, okay? They spend a lot of money keeping these out of the eyes of everybody else, and also what they do is they spend a lot of money within the industry making sure that you consume it, okay, by the litres per day possibly, okay? So if you're on this crap, then hopefully today we can break through that and find a better route for you, if you like, okay? Now the problem here is I get a bit excited about certain topics, so I can tend to waffle on and almost get lost within it. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to try and bring myself back on track. I've got it more or less structured out enough to the point that we should be able to get through this steadily without obviously me going all over the place with it. So first of all, you hear a lot of shit about caffeine, like it helps boost your immune system, not your immune system, sorry, it helps boost your energy systems, it helps stimulate you, make you more alert, you know, it helps you be able to lift better or perform better within exercise itself. Now, on the outside looking in, yes, it probably does do a lot of this, but the majority of it is a load of crap, and it really doesn't do any of this. So what we've got to do then is we've got to go through the process now of unpicking some of these, and then afterwards we'll go into one more of my favourites, and then we'll debunk that one as well. Okay, so what we'll start with then first is, I think I'll start with the dangers of caffeine itself. Okay, now what you need to realise is caffeine is actually a natural pesticide, okay? And watch this clip and you start to realise a bit more.
Hey, Derek with the Lemonex. I'm here in Kendall Park, New Jersey, and I wanted to show you, I just did a spraying, and then before I did the spraying I collected some bugs, I collected some insects, and I want to show you the fact that coffee, just coffee, caffeine, a little bit of caffeine, just the traces of caffeine, 30 times more toxic than any pesticide that are used, registered pesticides that are used for insect pests. Nicotine has 15 times more. So let me show you an example. What proof of that? A coffee cup that I put these bugs into. Just put them in fresh, and they're dying immediately. Just a little bit of coffee residue. Have them hanging out around there. They're healthy as heck, and now are dying just from the coffee exposure. Coffee is way more toxic. When you do pesticide, you spray pesticide, you give them a chance. Pesticides are light. Also, we have non-repellents and repellent. Hey, they're still going to be running after you spray with pesticide for up to an hour. They'll do it. The coffee, have a little bit of any kind of contact from coffee, they'll die like almost instantly. So people always worry about pesticides. It's going to cause this, it's going to cause that, and get you sick. And over long term, you're going to have chronic exposure. Worried about systemic contamination from pesticide applications on the house. It's only in spot areas, targeted. But coffee, just think about it. We use coffee for everything. We're addicted to coffee, and we consume large amounts. And if you look it up on the websites, Google it. Nicotine is about 50 times more stronger than any pesticide out there, and coffee is 20 times more toxic than any pesticide. So
you can see that how dangerous caffeine actually is. And like the guy said there, caffeine is about 20 times more potent than pesticides, and it's the normal out there pesticides that they use. Now, I'm not condoning pesticides at all, because it's all terrible, but what we do want to see is that we stop. We need to see caffeine for what it really is, which again, it is a pesticide, okay? We have been brought to believe that it's a drink, okay? It's not. The plant produces caffeine naturally, okay, to stop insects biting its beans, for example. If it's a coffee, okay, if it's a coffee plant, then it produces this to kill off insects and stop them eating their beans. The tea, it does it to stop it eating the leaves, okay. It also does it to leach into the ground and spread its toxic chemicals, okay, if you like, to stop things growing around it, so it can be the ultimate plant that thrives and grows in that specific area. So what you've got to realise is, if that's doing that to stop people eating its stuff, and then we're ingesting it, what the hell is it doing to us? So yeah, it's doing a heck of a lot. Just get past this bloody sty there. It's not really made for my rucksack I've got on there. So I'm just out doing a forced march at the moment, which is, it's a lovely evening for it. So as you can see there, we're already getting straight into that it's a load of shit. Now, as soon as it's being pushed everywhere, this is what gets me questioning, okay? As soon as something is pushed everywhere by the media, you can't even go down the fucking high streets now without going maybe 5 shops down without a coffee shop being there. Coffee shop, coffee shop, coffee shop. It's easily the biggest drug being pushed on the streets at the moment. Easily the biggest drug. Now, you may be thinking, what a load of bollocks. The government's all up for us. They'll be telling us if this is what it's meant to be. If we're meant to drink caffeine, if we're not meant to drink caffeine, they'll tell us not to do it. You know, they've been telling us to stay safe and wear a mask. They really care for us. They don't give two flying fucks about you. I'm telling you that now. Okay, as I said, this series is down to the bone, to the point where we'll be exposing a lot of shit here, so you really want to listen to these series, okay? This one's just about caffeine. Wait until we break onto the next ones. So my little horses there, loving it, enjoying it out here at the moment. So, yeah, sorry again, losing it a bit there. Just enjoying the moment out here. So yeah, you've got to think about them, that they're always out there. If you're in the UK, for example, and you watch a soap, okay? If you're over the pond in America or Canada and anything, you've got your sitcoms there, which are more or less the same. Now look into the background, okay? This is digging into your subconscious here. It's telling you at a subconscious level, which is the bit that really controls you. Okay, you think that you're in control of yourself, and you say to yourself, well, I want a coffee because I want one. Bollocks. Absolute bollocks. Like people watching the football at the moment, them saying, I want a beer because it just goes nice, you know, with a football. No, it's because of all the sponsorships and everything else behind it that are pushing it out there. Okay, if you're an extreme sports person, I know, and actually I'm going way off here. I know, and no, this can tie into it because it's caffeine, still the same. So if you're, say for instance, into motocrossing or Formula 1 or anything, or even gaming into some extent here, what you'll find is that you'll drink a lot of energy drinks like Red Bulls and all the other crap like that, okay? Now, they do this, again, because of advertisements. You look who sponsors these stuff, Red Bulls. Red Bull does all the extreme jumps, if I can bloody talk, and everything else like that. So you've got to look out for the marketing and where it is, okay? Now, you won't be able to go even, I'd go as far as 5 minutes into a movie or a programme without somebody wanting a coffee or caffeine or some form of a drug like that, okay? You'll see them, let's go have a coffee, or they'll be walking across the street with the bloody Costa Coffee or Starbucks, drinking that, okay? You'll see them with it, plain as day. Watch out for it next time and you'll be like, fuck me, yeah. So, and then you'll see the repetitiveness throughout the whole program. So as soon as shit like that starts to happen and everybody's concerned about, oh, well, we're being looked after, you know, and all of a sudden down the high streets is all there, everyone's pushing it out there. The health industry now, caffeine is good for you. Bodybuilders use caffeine. They have a shot of black caffeine to get them prepped for stuff. It's good for weight loss, all this crap. You know, if you're trying to truly be healthy and genuinely want to look after yourself, okay, and you're not just after a quick fix that as soon as you stop, you're gonna drop back and everything else, then you need to be looking at doing it right, okay? And quitting caffeine is one of them. Now, the next point then, what we're gonna break into there is about the sleep, okay? So, you have a chemical within your body, a compound within your body that's just floating about there, and it is called adenosine, okay? Now, this is in charge of your sleep. But what caffeine does is, as soon as you ingest caffeine, so this is why suddenly you can be on the motorway, driving away, and suddenly you're tired as hell, you get a coffee or a tea, whatever it may be, a strong black tea, and all of a sudden, boom, you've got the energy, you're boosted, you can get yourself home. Now, what you need to look at then is how that is affecting you like that. It does not give you energy at all. If anything, it depletes your energy by taking away from your adrenaline, because it spikes your adrenaline. Again, we'll go into that in a bit. I won't get too sidetracked. Okay, so what you need to think then is how it works. Now, what it does is it blocks the receptors in your brain that basically this adenosine sits into. Okay, so it sits into these spaces within your brain receptors there, and they're in charge of sleep. Okay, so when you start to get a big flush of them in your body, you start to feel sleepy and tired. This is a natural rhythm because we do need to fucking sleep, believe it or not. Okay, it's actually vital for us. Maybe one of the most vital things that we could actually do to improve our health. Now, when we start then looking into how them receptors then get blocked, okay, so the receptors then get blocked by the caffeine. So the caffeine blocks up the receptors, so therefore the adenosine can't sit into them receptors, and therefore you can't feel tired and you can't go into a good deep sleep. And on the flip side then, when the caffeine, you start to feel a bit more tired, you have another one. So it just fits in a bit more. But eventually it gets to the point where it doesn't hold them anymore, and you've just got such a big backup because your body doesn't stop producing the adenosine. Okay, it still produces it. The only difference is the adenosine's got nowhere to sit now. So it's just building up within your body. All of a sudden, it just goes, fuck it, we're going for it. And then you get crash, okay? So you just crash and that's it. You're asleep, and suddenly you're asleep at the wheel if you're still driving at this point. So you can see how dangerous it is with regards to that in itself there. So it doesn't actually give you the energy that you think it does. Drinking caffeine triggers the release of adrenaline. Adrenaline is the source of the fight or flight response, a survival mechanism that forces you to stand up and fight or run for the hills when faced with a threat. The fight or flight mechanism sidesteps rational thinking in favour of a faster response. This is great when a bear is chasing you, but not so great when you are responding to a work email. When caffeine puts your brain and body into this hyper-aroused state, your emotions overrun your behaviour. So when we talk about the adrenaline there being pumped, what we're putting out there, because that's a big statement, okay? And basically what it's pumping out is that the adrenaline then within your body is produced, that fight or flight mode, okay? And when that does, you start to work in your limbic system, okay? The lower IQ side of your brain. This is in charge of things like aggression, fear, rage, just survival, basic survival needs, okay? So be that reproduction or just eating. Okay, so food. Again, it's just in charge of your survival basics there. Now the limbic system's been known as the reptilian brain as well, if you've heard of it in that sense. So it's got many different names for it, okay? And there's studies out there. So basically this system that you're looking at here, this side of your brain, the limbic system of your brain, the lower IQ end of your brain, is heightened once your adrenaline is pumped, okay? Which is great. Like it says, it's great if a bear's chasing you. You can just know the basics, which is, right, which is my routes in and out? How can I best survive this situation now? How can I overcome what's happening to me now? You know, how can I, do I need to fight it? Do I need to run? Do I need to take a left? Do I need to take a right? That's as simple as it goes, okay? It's like, get out of there now because you are under attack. So when your system is in this state all the time, constantly, you know, how do you expect to get any work done? How do you expect to reach your true greatness, to be the master, if you like, of your own existence, to reach true greatness? You can't. That's the bottom line. You cannot. So the amount of people that take caffeine, I used to be really bad on caffeine, and when I think back on it now, I did my research into it, and this is when I was still a health professional, because again, we're being told that it's actually good for you. It does all these good benefits for you, all this, that, the other, which is, again, a crock of shite, okay? So what happened with me then, I would instantly notice my heart rate start heart beating like mad, start palpitating like mad. I'd start to get sweaty, clammy hands, you know. I'd feel alert, yeah, I'd feel like as in zoned in like to a point, you know, like almost you can feel almost your pupils contracting, so you're like almost eagle eyes, if you like. And then suddenly you have your crashes. And then what do you do when you have your crash? Shit, I need a coffee. Okay? Which, it doesn't work like that. Now, there's a research out there that has 1 cup of coffee. Okay? So with that 1 cup of coffee, 3 weeks later, okay? So after that 1 cup of coffee, I'll try and explain this right. So after this 1 cup of coffee, the adrenaline starts spiking. So for 3 consecutive weeks after, just after that 1 cup of coffee, the effects of that adrenaline spike was still there. The effects of caffeine stay within your system for 6 months. 6 months. Crazy. You know, we've got to the point where we feel that something so harmless, something that we can drink, something that we so called like the taste of. Do we fuck like the taste? And no matter what you tell me now, you don't like the taste. You know, most people have to put milk, cream, sugar, honey inside their drink, their coffee to even like it, to even like the taste of it, to even make it palatable. You know, it's unreal. Give it to a child, or you truly think back to you as a baby, give it to you as a young child, as it is, or even sugared up how you like it now, or just black, just normal black. Just give it to a child black. Will they like it? Will they be feeling, oh, this is a lovely drink, I want to drink this all the time? Well, they felt they'll spit it out and say, what the hell's that? Give me something else. And especially if they're clued up, they'll say, what the hell's that? You know, you don't actually like it. It's the marketing things around you. It's your subconscious seeing the repetition around you. Everybody else drinking it, all the coffee shops down there. Oh, I must, you know, like it. The smell of it. You know, oh, what do they say? Everybody loves a good smell of a coffee.
Ah, beautiful day. I'd call it perfect, but it's missing something, don't you think? Ah, there it is. This morning just wasn't complete until your first cup of coffee, right? Yeah, there's nothing quite like a steaming cup full of an addictive drug in the morning.
I'm Roger, and I'd love to tell you about Horton brand warm addictive brown stuff.
Please enjoy this footage of velvety smooth beans, followed by a well-shot close-up of a hot, brown liquid that's brewed by mixing heated water with the roasted, smashed up seeds of a flowering shrub native to southern Africa and tropical Asia.
I only showed you that to remind you you desperately need your fix. How could you forget? You see, these small brown seeds are a naturally occurring source of the world's most widely consumed central nervous system stimulant, caffeine. While most brain-altering substances are outlawed or at least tightly controlled by the government, this entirely legal psychoactive drug is enjoyed by basically every person you know on a daily basis, completely unrestricted and with zero cultural stigma. In fact, it's openly celebrated by your friends, family, and morning television personalities. Smells so good. I can't wait to add flavors and sweetener to distract from the natural flavor of this thing I claim to love and not be addicted to.
I do like it. It's just that 2 sugars and that hazelnut creamer make it. I'm not addicted.
Junkies like him keep me, a harvester of brown seeds, in business. But not just me. Also me, a distributor of overpriced addictive sludge. It also comes in pumpkin flavored, if you'd prefer that to the wet cigar boiled asphalt flavor that occurs naturally.
I do.
Great, that'll be $11, and here's a cup with your name just butchered on it to prove that you will let literally anyone treat you literally however they want, as long as they're handing you a cup of the chemical reward of an unregulated psychoactive drug. Enjoy your drug disguised as a universally celebrated touchstone of human culture. Randor. Randor? That's not even a name. I didn't even try. Now, I understand that you wouldn't want to associate that chemical reward with the knowledge that people with far less money than you are severely underpaid to grow and harvest these bitter, drug-laden seeds. So I'd like to show you some more footage, this time of a hard-working, happy-looking person in Ethiopia or Guatemala, somewhere hot, it doesn't really matter. I'm also going to say some words that, combined with these images, should make you feel better. Organic, cooperative, sustainable, ethical, ethics. I could bore you with the details and complexities of the international commodities market, or I could just say, hey, look, this burlap bag of beans has fair trade stamped on it.
That's good. Right?
Sure. Or at any rate, it lets you plausibly deny that your happiness fix relies on somebody else's misery. Now the only thing that'll keep you up at night is the central nervous system stimulant you consume on a daily basis via this mix of heated water and roasted, smashed up seeds.
Why are you doing this? Why are you telling us this?
You're really cranky when you haven't had your coffee. You know that? There you go. A nice warm cup of your personality. Drink it up. I'm Roger, by the way.
How great is that? Yeah, it's great that. It's good fun. It made me laugh when I first saw it. But it's on point there. And, you know, I just want to show you another one here when the news crew went in to do a study, and they went in to have a brain scan. The reporter did. And she hadn't had coffee before. They did a brain scan of her. And then she had 1 cup of coffee. Now this wasn't even a full cup. This was only, you see it's not even a full cup. You could tell it's not even a full cup. So she only had a small amount. I'll let you watch it first, and then I won't give any of it away.
To researchers at Wake Forest in North Carolina, where I underwent 2 MRI brain scans. This first scan with no caffeine in my system. Then I downed just 1 drink. Now my second MRI. This was my brain before caffeine. This was after. The difference was remarkable.
It's like a 40% drop in the blood flow to your brain. So that's a lot.
So before caffeine, with caffeine, the blood flow to my brain Dropped about 40%?
40%.
Really?
So as you see from there, the doctor says it reduces down by 40%. If you actually look at that, and you can see in the doctor's eyes how surprised he is. He probably wasn't expecting them kind of results. He would probably just dicked out of all of them. Oh, bloody John over here, John's not got out on today, let's get John on job. Doing bloody brain scan for bloody Susan over there, reporter Susan. You know, he was surprised. And saying 40, that is not 40, that is more 45 to 50 at least. You know, I'd go as far as probably maybe 52 to 55% reduction of blood flow to the brain there. And again, this ties in with that lowered IQ bit again. You know, you're not doing yourself no favours as soon as you start stripping your blood flow to your brain like that. And you know, you've got to think of the side effects when you come off a caffeine or don't have a coffee for a few days. Or even 24 hours, a few hours even, you don't have a coffee. And what ends up happening? You're in bloody shit state, you've got a banging headache, you're throbbing like mad, you can be vomiting, you know, and that's even for just a person that just has one coffee a day. Majority of people have 3 coffees a day. Okay, there's things like, if you start to, so having a coffee in the morning, which a lot of people do, in fact, majority of people do, probably say 99% of people that drink caffeine have a coffee in the morning. But what gets me is when they have it first thing. So they don't have no breakfast, they have a coffee, straight down. What this does is, on an empty stomach, it sits down, and caffeine heightens your hydrochloric acid within your stomach. As soon as it starts to do that, you start to develop eventually stomach ulcers, because it burns away at the lining of your stomach there. Okay, you don't want the pH of your hydrochloric acid becoming more acidic. Okay, your body regulates it at that pH level for a reason. Okay, and it regulates it there to help you digest what you need to digest, to keep bugs and infections away from as soon as it hits your stomach. So then first thing we do, shove a coffee in there, heighten the hydrochloric acid, and continue our day, and then bitch and moan that we've got stomach ulcers, everything else eventually. It's quite ironic really that we whinge about stuff, but really it's us doing it. You know, you've got to look deeper into it. If things are pushing it, if in the background of these programs there's always like the soaps and stuff like I was on about, there's a coffee maker behind bloody Jack Duckworth there. Obviously not no more, but there's a coffee maker behind him there, and it's up on the stands, and you can see it all on the backdrop. There's Coca-Cola, the Euros at the moment, the football, Coca-Cola. You know, there's always 2 fucking bottles in front of all the players now. You got to think to yourself, how are they getting away with this in an area that sports people are meant to be healthy? How are they getting away with this? You know, and again, it's all a bigger picture. They don't give 2 flying fucks about health. They don't care about health. They tell you they do, but they don't. If they really did, we're trying to make our drinks more healthy. Decaffeinated, or decaffeinated still has coffee in it. You know, they haven't actually got a decaffeinated, well they have. They've now got a decaffeinated a coffee plant that produces beans, so they say, with no caffeine in them. Okay, but the thing is, that's only just gone in the ground. It would take 10 years before that has its first harvest. Okay, so by then though, it's all right. They've got you hooked on every other thing around there. But yeah, things like green tea. Green tea's healthy for you. Yeah, it's got some great benefits, but at the same time, it's also got caffeine. And again, I've just explained quite a little bit about caffeine, and I mean quite a little bit. It's nowhere near how much it can be. And another good point is, if you suffer, what lovely, look at this. Here we go, look at that. There we go. The iconic Castle Hill in my hometown. See if you can get it where it is. No, you can't see it properly without it. Okay, so if you suffer with fungal problems, so you could have bad nails, or in between the webbing of your feet, it gets right itchy. You know, there's many different fungals. We can have it as a coming up as a brown or red rash type of thing on our back. You know, so if you have that, again, caffeine is again a big fungal feeder. So you want to avoid that. Some chap, he's got a nice hill to get up there. Love to watch him get up there. Whew. Yeah, mind you, he's come up a good hill now. So the caffeine there, it's a fungal feeder. So if you find that you deal with fungal, and again, when I drank a lot of caffeine, I had a lot of fungal problems. And once you've had a fungal infection, it's there for life. You've got it for life, you're not getting rid of it. It's just that you might drop the symptoms a bit. Okay, so again, mine was in the webbing of my little toe, where it'd get right itchy. Okay, sometimes I get a minging build-up of just like white skin. Okay, it wouldn't be anything nasty like anything else. It was just like a little build-up of white skin. Okay, so what I'm just a bit dark here for you at the moment. There we go, we've got a bit airy there. So when you get that, then you want to start quitting the caffeine. Think about, right, I'm cutting down on the caffeine because obviously it's not doing me no good whatsoever, which it really ain't. And then the last thing that I really want to finish on there is the sleep. Now there's a big thing that have caffeine at 3 p.m. in the evening, and then you're good, you're all right, you can get to sleep perfectly fine. Again, it's a load of bollocks. If the side effects of caffeine stay in your body for 6 months, okay, just imagine what 6 to 7 hours is like. Okay, so that's what you're saying there. If you go to bed at 9, 10 o'clock, then you know you're looking at 6 to 7 hours. So I'll tell you what happens after 6 hours. That's the point where caffeine reaches its half-life. Okay, it's got a half-life of 6 hours. Which means by the time it gets 9 o'clock and you've had your last coffee at 3 o'clock, like we're told, yes, be a good boy, drink your caffeine, but stop at 3 o'clock so you can actually get some sleep. Yeah, you won't. You may be able to get some shut-eye, but not some sleep. Okay, remember, there's a big difference between closing your eyes and actually getting deep sleep. That's why you will probably still feel like you wake up unrested or feeling like you haven't even slept. Okay. So the best thing is just don't have caffeine. That's the bottom line of it. Don't have caffeine, you know, because even come 9 o'clock then, and you've had it at 3 o'clock, still 50% of the caffeine there in your body. Just don't have it. Stop it. Don't be stupid. Think smarter. You know, don't replace it. So don't go from that onto like a decaffeinated, because again that's still got caffeine in it, or even a peppermint tea or anything else like that. You know, all you're doing is you're substituting there. You're just substituting it, and that then you will relapse back into it and end up having caffeine again eventually. So just avoid that for yourselves. Just stop it. Okay, if you need any help stopping it, I'm here for you. Okay, I'm here to help you through it. So again, we'll be posting up on these health series, and I hope you've enjoyed the first one of the health bullshit debunked. Okay, and enjoy it and start implementing it. It's going to do the world of good. And then give yourself, you know, your first week's going to be your worst. Your first 3 days initially is going to be the worst, but get over that. 3 weeks after, you'll feel much better about yourself. 3 months after, you'll feel great. 6 months, when all the effects of coffee's gone, you'll really start to see the benefit. Okay, so it might seem like a long time, but guess what? You either stop now and in 6 months time, or in 6 months time think to yourself, shit, that could have been the end of my caffeine side effects if I'd stopped back then, but I continued, so now I've got it ahead. Okay, so think about it smartly.